phone at? What's my phone? Y'all, hold on. Oh, here it is. Over here. It's over here. Man, here we go. Can y'all hear me well? Can y'all hear me? Let me make sure. Oh, Lord. Is it? Hold up. Hold on. Cha 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 cha. Hold on, y'all. Come. Cha cha. Y'all know I'm not looking forward to this show, right? Y'all know I am not looking forward to this show. I'm not at all. Yeah, I'm stalling. I don't care. Whatever. I know he's sitting there in the waiting room waiting on me. Don't care. Doing my sound checks and all that stuff. And all the stuff that I normally do before I get started. Bringing somebody on the show. I don't even want. He just gonna sit in my waiting room right now. He just gonna sit there. He just gonna sit there. And I know you watching too. I don't even care. I don't even care. You just gonna have to watch. Okay. Sound check good. All right. All right. Here we go. Bring this. And don't come in here with this boy before I even let you in here. Don't you come in. Look here now. Look here. Before I let you enter into the studio. Don't you come in here with this raggedy microphone. Don't you come in here with all these I told you so tour tickets and everything. We're gonna hear you out, and then we're gonna move on to everything else that happened this weekend. All right? We're gonna have a nice show. We're gonna keep the disrespect at a minimum. And I'm gonna let you in here. Yeah, be more careful. Bring him in. I did. See, I'm telling y'all people. I did. I brought this shit out here for a reason. Cause I'm gonna get comfortable. See, I'm gonna get comfortable because I know I gotta hit. So I figure if I gotta hit, I gotta get in my mind frame. I gotta get comfortable because I'm gonna have to go see a therapist after this show. So I'm already getting I'm ready. I'm listening.
Yeah, Ray. It's just what I do, man. I just know shit, yo. It's just I honestly didn't enjoy your show after the meet. You're a little tense, a little uptight, a little angry, a little snappy. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just happened to get this one right. Again. But, I mean, there's always tomorrow, or the day after that, or the day after that, or the day after that. But, I think that this one here, you know, I was bang on, but it's crazy. You see how in football, American and in football over in here in Europe, when they score, they're always happy. They do it all the time, but it just feels good. I just feel like I scored another goal, man. You know, I don't want to rub it in your face that you were absolutely wrong, but I was just right, and it feels good. It feels good to score. You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't know what I'm saying, but it feels good to score. Unconventional voice of track and field, everyone. If you haven't gone over to the YouTube channel yet, please proceed. More entertainment and track knowledge on site. But hey, man, your post-race assessment, though angry, was fairly accurate. Christian obviously needs some work, which was expected, but he's still able to win. You know what I want to say?
No,
I'm done with you, man. You know what I do want to say? I like how Trayvon sounded after the race. I like how he sounded. I like his demeanor. I like his vision. And I think that last year was very tough for him. And I think it's made him, I think he seems stronger here to me. I don't know what it was. Something just seemed a little bit more determined, a little bit more tough. But the one thing that I will say, though, he did say he didn't really care too much about this race and lining up with Christian and all that. For the amount of times that these guys don't line up with each other, I think there's very small opportunities to impose yourself on another competitor, especially like that. And I feel like it's important, especially with someone like Christian, to pick your moments when you can. So every race against him shouldn't just be, well, I'm just, which is cool. Like he seems at peace with it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't sound like an excuse. It didn't sound like he was bitter. And I like that. But I think when you have an opportunity, you have to capitalize. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, other than that, pretty much bang on about the time. That was $1. Pretty much bang on about the order. Another $1. I'm looking forward to being in your pockets a lot this season, man. I'm gonna open up a RT account. Guess what RT stands for?
Okay, that's enough. All right, that's enough. You have to come over here this morning with all these extra sound effects and sound horns and everything. That's not going to happen, okay? You got to put that time. All right?
Oh, man.
Now, look, I'm going to have to go on record and say it. I wasn't wrong, okay? I was not wrong.
I heard you say that. Okay.
I was not wrong.
Why was I not wrong? Straight.
Because technically, I should have did my sound bites. Technically, what did I say? I said Marvin Bracey will win it. And then I said 2 and 3 would be Trayvon and your boy. That's what I said now.
What's his name?
For them too.
What's his name?
That's what I said. But then I was like, man, really, if everybody looked good, he might even get 4. But that was the last little jokey joke I said. But my original statement was Bracey will win it, and 2 and 3 can be just like this because it's going to be between Trayvon and Romeo doing this. My horse was out of the race. So for me, I'm still right because I see second and third. Now,
if your horse is out of the race, they can't win.
We don't know what Marvin Bracey would have been capable of doing in that race. So technically, therefore, we can't say I was wrong because the horse that I picked wasn't even in the race anymore. So at that moment, It's like, okay, well, now it's a toss-up. Like I said, it's a toss-up.
Well, now, maybe that's the key. Maybe that's the key to my picks. I usually pick people that are running. Here's what I'm going to say. I can't do anything about that, Ray. I can't do anything about that. My picks were the picks, and the picks were right. You know what I'm saying? I can't do anything about you got your guy not showing up. What am I supposed to do?
First of all, he showed up. Okay, he showed up. All right. What the man did was make a smart decision. Okay, the man made a smart decision and said, "Hey, I'm not quite ready. I need to be ready when it matters." He made a Floyd Mayweather decision, and y'all mad at this man because he made a Floyd
I'm not mad.
Decision. He made a Mayweather decision saying, you know what? It's money on this thing, man. I don't have time to go out here for these nickels and dimes and possibly get beat up on when I need to be ready for the big show, which is World Championships. So shout out to Marvin Bracey for pulling out the race because he said a slight.
Shout out to Marvin Bracey.
For that reason, I had to respect, and then nobody knew he was pulling out until the morning of the race. So at that moment, it's like, okay, well, shoot, everything I done said got to go out the window because that's the person I picked to win the whole thing. So again, technically, I wasn't wrong. Now, when we get to the race, okay, let's just call it what it is. And even I was glad that even CC, he tweeted the same thing and said, I'm rusty. That's what I kept trying to explain to people, okay? When this thing first came out, even you. Now, I sat there and said, I can't judge it because I ain't seen him run. All right. Until I see him run, I can't put him at 1 or 2. All right. Now that I've seen him run, I'm gonna have to say the next time he might not win again. Okay. That's what I'm saying now. Now I'm just saying the next race. Okay. Now.
Why have you not learned?
Hold on. I let you speak. Now I let you speak. Now you let me speak. Okay?
Sorry. It's just a quick question. Sorry.
Based off of what I saw, okay? Based off of what I saw, his last 10 meters didn't look too good. All right. Now, here's the one thing I would say though. Trayvon Bromell was there off of just straight technique, technical, everything. Now, here's what I gotta say, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this. You've been off for 2 years. Means you've had 2 years to sharpen your knife. You can't come out and look like that. You have to come out and look perfect. Now let me flip it. Hold on. With my camera, hold on. Because when Trayvon Bromell came back off of his 2-3 years from his injury, he came out sharp. He came out like, no, I'm here now. This was just last season. We all saw it. We all witnessed it. So therefore, when you comparing the comebacks, it's like, bro, you still a little rusty, but why? Why are you still rusty? That's my thing. So that's why I'm sitting here. I'm like, well, look here, man. I wasn't completely crazy about saying I can't pick him till I see him. Now that we've seen him, now it's like, well, look, that's exactly why I couldn't pick him before, because I didn't know what he looked like. Now I know what he looked like. Now I got to be like, old Christain Coleman, that would have been a shutdown race for him. Old Christain Coleman before the suspension would have cruised that. Here's my point. Old Trayvon Bromell before his 2-year departure would have cruised the 10-0. Trayvon coming back, cruised the 10-0, and then went even faster. Old Trayvon would have went 6.5, fast. New Trayvon goes 6.5 after just leaving Tokyo. So at the end of the day, I'm still seeing her like, Christain Coleman ain't back. Not the Christain Coleman we know now. An athlete named Christain Coleman is back running. But the Christain Coleman that I know, he ain't back yet. I feel like it's disrespectful for all y'all to keep saying he back, and then he's sitting here I'm glad to be back, but I'm rusty.
Wait a second, Ray. Wait.
I'm just saying.
I did say he wasn't going to come back in peak form. But because he is who he is, even with the time that isn't at peak form, he'll still win because he's able to impose himself on the field. I brought up the Maurice Green, Otto Bolden, and Curtis Johnson was the other person in HSI at the time in 2000. They had a bet at the Olympics in 2000. Who can win their heat with the slowest time? Because that shows intimidation. Right. He has that. That's all I was saying. I didn't expect to see no 6.3s or 6.2s. I said he was going to win with the time. That may not be that fast for him, but he's still going to run the time, or he's still going to win the race. Right? Okay. Now, rust was expected. Well, my point was, even with rust, a pedigree of athlete like that in the 60, mind you, is going to win. He's going to be very, 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 very hard to beat. Marvin was not going to beat him. I see Marvin. I don't want to say too much because I haven't seen Marvin, but I wouldn't have expected him to beat Trayvon. And Trayvon looks very, very good. Matter of fact, Trayvon's actual start out of the blocks was better than Christian's, but Christian's pickup first 30 unmatched.
Christain,
so look,
like
we haven't seen Christain Coleman. We haven't seen him.
The dog. We can't take that away from him. Just like I said on my post show, I'm not going to take it away from him. Christain Coleman knows how to fight. That's the difference. Okay, I'm giving that much. But that was 100% Christain Coleman. Let me I say it right before y'all try and jump down my case. On that moment, at that day, that was 100% of what he was going to give us, right? That was 100% of what Trayvon was going to give us. No, it's not the same. Why? Because even Trayvon has came out and said, like, bro, I'm not even running no more endo meets. I'm running 200. That's it. Why? I just did this to show I ain't scared. So therefore, like, he hopped in the race pretty much like, I'm just gonna jump in this thing with take my 10 shoes on, hop in this race, right? No pressure. I don't care. If Trayvon was actually training for it, come on. We get this up now.
But we're not.
You got one person who's sitting here running through the motions, literally, and you got one person who's running for their life next to each other.
Come on, man. You can't be going through the motions when you have a crack at the world record holder, defending Olympic champion, and the guy. I understand that Trayvon is on a different mission, but what I'm saying is that doesn't alleviate the fact that he lost. And I'm saying he's on his path, and all we were talking about was who was going to win the race. That's all we were talking about, not why they did or didn't win the race.
I like what you said because Trayvon lost the race. There's a difference between getting beat and losing. He lost the race. He didn't get beat.
Okay.
He lost the race.
Okay, so if I beat you in something,
you gotta beat.
Then what did you do? What was your part? What was your part in it? But what was your part? What's the verb you'd give to yourself if I beat you in something?
It depends.
It doesn't depend. Your verb is lost. Your verb is lost. You lost, Ray. Like last week. Take for instance the bet. Take for instance the bet. Take for instance the bet.
Let me tell you how, because you can either lose or you can get beat. It's two totally different things, okay? You can lose or you can get beat. How did I lose? I lost because I slipped out the blocks. I ain't have a good race. I lost. You didn't beat me. I lost. But I did. Now, if I do everything right, I execute right. Bro, you
so how are we gonna say? How are we gonna say Christian?
You didn't lose. He beat you. There's a difference. There's a difference.
Let me ask you
something. Beat you. Usain Bolt beat me. We didn't lose, Jack. We was nowhere close to when we gave it out. We still came behind him. Okay, that's the difference in beating it, taking an L and getting beat. Okay, that's why I say I feel like Trayvon lost. He didn't get beat because he didn't give it everything he had.
Fair.
Same respect for Christian Coleman though. I feel like Coleman didn't give it nowhere close to everything he could have either. So to me, didn't either one of them win or lose that race. It's just one of them finished in front of the other one, but both of y'all look bad. Neither one of y'all look like y'all look like it was a real race. So
it's
me,
the first race.
Y'all gotta do it again.
Hey, it would be cool if they did it again, but I'll say this. That was the best chance anybody had at beating Christian. Oh, man. That was the best chance anyone had at beating Christian. You had to have done it then. You have to impose yourself in that moment. You have to. It's really too bad that Marvin couldn't run, man, because I don't know when he's going to get an opportunity like that again.
No,
they're going to see him again when he's ready, and it's not going to be easy to impose yourself on him then. This was the opportunity to get in his mind.
I disagree totally. And the reason why I disagree totally is because of this right here. We all saw exactly what he was capable of doing. Again, that wasn't an impressive win.
No, it wasn't. So but that's more favor of him.
What right now, everybody can sit here and literally say the same thing. If it had been 65 meters, you would have went from 1 to damn near 5th.
Right, but it's not. It's not 65. It's not 65 meters.
The next time they race, though, it's going to be 100 meters, right? So if they're not going to race no more inside, the next time they're going to see each other is outside in 100. With the naked eye, you can say right now, in 100, on today, who going to win? This one gonna win. Trayvon gonna win. So in reality, Coleman got to catch up to what Trayvon there for outside. It ain't the opposite. Trayvon like, no, bro, I'm ready for outside. Like, watch my transition. Look at all this. I'm not falling apart at 50. I'm not falling apart at 45. So Coleman got to look at that and be like, no, I got to get my shit together because one, I still can outstart him. Okay, that's my strong point. I still can get out and get the 30, 40 before them. But I got to get back to, and again, maybe that's why he would do the 300s because he know the same thing that we just saw. Like he's not ready for outside 100.
Right. So, but Ray, we're not. It's January. He's got plenty of time. We're talking about 60s here. That's another discussion. Okay. I'd love to have that discussion with you in the future when we get to the 100 meters. But right now, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. We were talking about.
It's gonna be number these. And I told y'all I'm giving him 10 too.
All right, look. If he was rusty, right? We can't say. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Who looked better between him and Trayvon? Technically, who technically better?
Trayvon.
Obviously, right. Mm-hmm. Now we can't say that Trayvon lost the race when he looked technically better. Now he definitely looks stronger. He definitely looks like he has a plan. But I think Christian's plan. I think Christian's plan, obviously, is to get back in the swing of things. Right? He needs to get his legs underneath him again because he's rusty. So his path during indoor season might be a little bit more serious. He might run a few more indoor races, might go for World Indoors, might try to get a championship again. His path is going to be different. Trayvon's path, he's obviously looking outside, which is cool. He World Indoor champion already. He doesn't need another one. But the race, the World Championship final, technically, starts at the beginning of the year. Because you have to establish yourself in here. You have to establish yourself, your presence within the sport. There's a lot of factors that you need to take into account from the beginning of the season. So the race has started already. Okay? And this was crucial because they're head up. We don't know when this is going to happen again. And this was a big opportunity for everyone, for Ronnie, for Trayvon, for Marvin. There's a big opportunity. And if they were going to capitalize, this was the opportunity. He was confident already. Why wouldn't he be more confident now?
I got to go scientific on you. Now I got to go scientific on you. I got to pull you. That's a whole bunch of malarkey right there, okay? That's a whole bunch of malarkey. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, big up the one named Brian Lewis. He's in the chat, yo. Big up the one named Brian Lewis.
Watch this right here. Shout out B. Lewis, my boy right there.
Yeah.
Frequency versus technique. All right? Mm-hmm. Coleman used more frequency in that race than Trayvon. Okay? Trayvon used technique, straight technique, which means, yeah, I look the sharpest right now, but this is a straight technique. What you're getting is Goku level 1. I ain't even thought about going to Super Saiyan level 2 or 3. So at me at 25%, I'm able to hang right next to you now. And I'm not even turning it over. I'm being pretty right now, which means all I got to do is work literally to get my frequency. Okay. You got to work and get frequency and speed endurance. So you still behind. Any way you look at it, Coleman is behind. And the reason why I keep saying it is he got a lot of stuff to clean up, right? Now, in the amount of time you cleaning up, guess what I'm doing? I'm polishing up. And again, we're talking about outdoor. We're not talking about indoor. We both got to give it to Coleman. Coleman is a world record holder. If you're the world record holder on your worst day, you should still beat the rest of the world. That's just what it is. Like on his worst day, he's still gonna beat all of us. He got 9-5. Right. On a 9-7 day, we still lost. The thing about it is how Christain Coleman didn't beat them with a 6-5 shutting down, just bouncing like Trayvon. If it had been that, if you had like Trayvon doing it, I'd be like, oh shit. I literally been like, they in trouble because they get ready to go outside. Right now, if they go outside right now, again, he's playing catch up. So in order for him to literally catch up, you would have to say Trayvon and everybody else finna stop. You were saying that Christain Coleman can catch up and get in front. I'm saying that by the time they get outside, he's in the race now. He definitely is in the race. But this whole notion that he gonna get back to Christain Coleman and he gonna be blowing these boys out, that's not possible. It's impossible. It's literally impossible.
It's impossible for him.
You came back at 6'5", okay? It's not possible because in order for you to jump back in front of these boys, you would have had to come back out 6'4", low ready. You can't just, I understand you're saying January. Okay, no, it's February. You got February, March, April. You got roughly 3 months to clean that stuff up and get it together, which means they got 3 months to polish it. He gonna get good enough. When I mean good enough,
he's tarnished right now.
It's gonna be a race at USA. I can't give him this notion.
He's nowhere near polished right now. Okay, look it. This is all I'm saying. He's nowhere near polished right now. Okay, he's at a disadvantage in comparison, and was still able to win. So if I was to be able to go out on the track and beat everyone in some church shoes,
you can't say
if I was able to go out and beat everyone in some church shoes,
they not ready either. They ain't none of them.
I know that, but I said that originally. It's the first race. No one's really going to be ready. So he has more chance of winning because of his pedigree and what he's run already. But what I'm saying is, you can't disregard the fact that he won rusty. That's favorable for him. If I jump in a track meet in some church shoes and I win, I would be like, well, shoot, I'm only going to wear better shoes after this. It's looking really good for me. It's looking good for me. He was able to do this when he's not ready. He's clearly very rusty. That's a problem for people who have to compete against him. I'm just saying, man, look, as far as in the US, that's a battle within itself to establish yourself within the US. Okay, we're not even talking about the rest of the world yet. Okay, now as far as that right now, he made a very strong move with Milrose. As small as the meet is, as early as it is, whatever, it's still a very powerful statement that he made in that race. Now, whether or not Trayvon cares or not, I don't know, because when I heard Trayvon talk, he didn't sound like he really cared. And I like that. I like that. But as far as the message, you got the fans starting to back him. You got himself starting to back him. You got these starting to be, you got his competitors being like, oh, okay, he's kind of back now. Yo, he did what he had to do. He made a statement, yo. I'm back. I'm not back, and I'm backing up to beat y'all. That's what he did. That's huge. That's huge. The race has started already, dog. The World Championship final has started already. He's like he already does already. He's swiftly out of the blocks as far as the race, the season race. He's out of the blocks. He's imposed himself already. Bow.
I'm giving you that none of them was ready. Okay. Now. Okay. Here is what you and other delusional people. I'm gonna start calling everybody Cowboy fans.
You're very disrespectul. You're very disrespectful. Considering I need you to be a lot friendlier. I need you to be considering what happened.
Is the difference between how they look. Okay, one of them was actually going, I have to win or die. Okay, and the other one's like, I'm just here because I want to be here. You have to push yourself to the limit to beat me, and I'm not even pushing myself to the limit. That's why I keep saying, like, okay, well, he won, but that was like that Rocky IV versus the Russian. Like, bro, you really just you ain't gonna be able to box no more. You use everything you had.
I disagree.
I'm saying, like, in this particular race, in that Milrose Games, he used everything he had to win that race. Everything.
It's impossible for him to use everything.
He used turnover. He used everything. So therefore, again, you use too much nitro. When we signed up, when I pulled out my index Acura on the track, and you pulled out your course, you hit nitrous oxide at a quarter mile, and I didn't even bring my NOS tank, and we right next to each other. I cannot believe that you are really ready and we really was racing. I can't believe that. Can't believe that. Only reason why, again,
right now,
everybody was giving effort. Everybody was going the same effort. Nobody doesn't give effort. But realistically, one of them wanted it more than the other one. And then if you wanted it more than the other one and you only can separate this much, you ain't ready for me. Like, if I'm Trayvon, I'm walking around like, bro, you ain't ready for me. Like I'm saying, like, you ain't ready for me.
No. Trayvon is much more. Trayvon is a very intelligent sprinter. He's not gonna see it like that. Trayvon knows that they're gonna be bucking heads numerous times throughout the season. Like, whether it's literally on the race or whether it's you running this time here and you running this time there. And when they have to line up, it's on. He knows. And he knows that this guy's back. Okay. Now, if we're talking about Christian giving everything he has, Christian isn't even capable of giving everything he has right now. He's rusty. He's rusty. So
that's why I keep telling y'all, everybody now.
Okay, so picture a Ferrari that's been sitting. Picture a Ferrari that's been sitting in the garage. Picture a Ferrari that's been sitting in the garage.
He rested. That's fair enough to say.
Let me just get this out. He's a Ferrari that's been sitting in the garage, Doc. Now he's not tuned either. But he just turned it on after a couple years, turned the engine on, and won. Now he still has some polishing, some fine tuning to do, maybe some parts to replace. But despite that, he still was the fastest car out there. I'm saying that's a big statement. And I'm saying this was an opportunity that should have been jumped on. Maybe Trayvon don't care. I'm just talking from how Christian's going to take it. Because Christian's going to take it. Christian ain't going to be like, well, Trayvon wasn't trying, so I better just keep my antennas up. No. Okay. He's going to be like, look, you don't come on the track with me and just kind of half-ass it. I'm not a half-ass type of dude. You don't half-ass me. I'm the one right now.
I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to ask you this question because you made a point. And we're going to stay on track, but stay off track. You right now, you just entered into NASCAR. You a multi-billionaire. I'm giving it to you. You're a multi-billionaire.
Respect.
You out there and it's like, my car, my number 13 car, killing. Oh, well, your tires is illegal. You got to take it off the track. Okay, so I can't race in NASCAR for 2 years? Nope, you cannot, Mr. Billionaire. You cannot bring your car to this track for another 2 years. You say, okay, that's fine. I'll be back in 2 years. So you mean to tell me, Mr. Billionaire, you don't spend all this money, because you're the sponsor, you don't spend all this money on the coaches, or in this case, NASCAR, on the pit crew. You don't spend all your money on the detail of it. You just been sitting back waiting for your car to hit the track. And you mean to tell me this was the same car that you had that don't won every Indy that was out there? You don't pay these people two years that I had this car. 2 years. And this car get on the track looking like that? That's how it looks. But you had 2 years. You had 2 years to polish it, though. So that's what I'm saying. When y'all saying rusty,
wait. You kind of contradicting yourself now.
Let me finish. The rusty that I'm talking about is that 40 to 60 fall apart that we all saw. We all saw that fall apart. Let's not pretend like we didn't see that fall apart. So you mean to tell me you had 2 years to perfect the technique that you already had? Why is that falling apart? That's all I keep saying. I'm like, y'all say he right. No. Different rusty. Y'all talking about race rusty. I'm saying no, that car is rusty, period. That car been sitting down for 2 years. It just came on the track like, again.
Technique under pressure is different than technique when you've been seasoned.
No, think about who sat down. When Gat came back, he just was slow, but he wouldn't. He did not look like he didn't know what he was doing. He wasn't falling apart. When Trayvon came back, same thing. When Elijah came in injury, same thing. These people they look rusty like, okay, they got to get their frequency rusty. Not rusty like, you driving that car on the track and you get to the first curve and it's shaking. That's what Christain Coleman is doing at the last 2 years. You had the car 2 years and it's shaking at 60. Something wrong there.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the type of pressure that was on Christain on that day? Not because of the competitors. He ain't worried about them. I'm talking about the viewers. Some people are still kind of upset at him for whatever reason about what happened. The accusations, being in the spotlight again when a lot of people have been shitting on him, So that, and also the fact that, I've been thinking about this day nonstop every day since they took my life away from me. The day has come. I'm in my uniform and I'm back on the track. Do you understand that type of pressure that he must have been feeling? On top of being rusty or a raggedy car, however you want to describe him. On top of that, and was still able to win. All the comebacks you're talking about, except for Gatlin. But Trayvon's comeback was Trayvon came back from an injury, yo. Trayvon came back from an injury, and Trayvon
he didn't look good doing it.
He didn't. But that's my point. So we agree. He didn't look good. We agree. He didn't look good. But what we disagree on is you saying that it's a bad thing, and me saying that it's obviously a good thing because he's only gonna get better. He's not going to get worse. This was the chance.
And the rest of them gonna get worse.
No, but I'm just saying he's starting off further along than them. He's the guy. Listen, and I already said this too. If we're talking worldwide, that's when it gets a little bit tricky because Christain hasn't really imposed himself on Lamont Jacobs. He hasn't really imposed himself on Andre. Some of those players are gonna come. Those are gonna be some real tasks. But the Americans, you have to assert yourself, yo. That's the country that you need to be on top of, yo. That's where the dogs are, yo. You have to assert yourself. Now, if Trayvon doesn't care, that's cool. He might have a longer plan, which is good. And if he's confident in that, wicked, amazing for him. But you could have slowed down Christian's progress if you stuck it to him there, yo. You could have slowed down his progress. Now it's going to be even harder. He had way more up against him in this opportunity that they had. There was way more up against him. In the future, it's going to get harder, dog. It's going to get harder, and he has a higher ceiling because he's ran faster than everybody. So look, man. All I'm saying is, this was an opportunity that shouldn't have been taken lightly.
It's time for me to bring in an unbiased opinion person.
Let's do it, man.
Right?
Let's do it, man.
I invited somebody that actually know a lot about track and field, okay? Well, he might not know a lot about track and field, but he know a lot about tracks in general. Hold on. Let me go and bring him in here. Let me go and add him to the stream. Let me go and put him in.
Oh man, Anson and Ray, this is trouble right here.
What's
up,
good,
guys?
man?
How we doing?
What's going on,
What you saying?
Welcome to the show. How you doing? Go ahead and tell the people who you are before you go ahead and tell everybody I'm right and Anson's wrong. Go ahead.
I'm Ray's hype man. That's who I am today, right, Anson?
Oh, for real? Okay. He needs it though. You should have came earlier.
Yeah. Yo, my name is Mike Cunningham. I work for Gill Athletics, and before I was here selling pits and hurdles and all that kind of stuff, I was a track coach for 10 years. Actually, Ray and I are from the same Wiregrass area, man. We came from the same, with 100 miles from each other. So,
for real?
Known each other for a while and just have not known each other for a while, if that makes any sense.
All right,
so,
man.
Mike,
Cool, man.
Mike, real fast, go ahead. Give us your breakdown on what you saw. And now, this is the part I got to say. The reason why I wanted you on because you actually can bring in the information about the track surfaces, the blogs, all that type of stuff that I'm going to ask some more questions about that on there. Give us your breakdown of what you saw in that Trayvon versus Romeo race this weekend.
Yeah, I kind of said it to you on Twitter. We were talking about track surfaces and whether they were Mondo or Binin and things like that. And honestly, you know what? I believe fast people run fast no matter where they're at, right? Mondo has become the Kleenex name, right? You want Kleenex, you need some tissues. You say you want Kleenex, but you probably ain't buying actually Kleenex brand. There's a lot of other brands out there. So a lot of people say Mondo, when in reality that track could be made by Mondo, Binin, OSST. There's a lot of other surfaces out there. But that race this weekend, come on, man. That was just cats lining up. I know it means nothing in the scheme of things, right? Like, there's a World Indoors. I don't even think they're going to do World Indoors. And there's a World Outdoor, which I know for sure they want to be at World Outdoor. But this was kind of I took it more as like, who cared about the time? And it was just man versus man. Let's see who gets there first. And, well, we saw who got there first, and pretty fast.
Well, let me ask you this, because you did mention something about surfaces. The surface at the Melrose Games, do you know if it's been changed since, anytime since they started doing these new super tracks, or is that the same like track that Melrose always been on?
Yeah, they probably haven't done a surface in there in quite a while. I bet it's the exact same. I'd be shocked if it was anything updated.
I think they changed it I want to say 2015 or something like that. I could be wrong.
That
early teens, something like that.
Make sense. That's like 7 years ago. Yeah. Well, 2015 before the super tracks.
Yeah, usually,
I think it was somewhere around that. Yeah.
You know who? If they had updated it to Mondo or something like that. Mondo does a great job of marketing. So like on LinkedIn and things like that, they tell you what meets are held on their tracks that year. For sure, they would have said something about Milrose. I'm going to check just real quick while we're talking to see if they had said anything about it. But for sure, I don't think they've done it anytime soon. So it wouldn't be like, you keep saying super tracks, the technology just keeps getting better. So whatever they put in 2015, that was the super track back then, and it's just gotten better as technology continues to get better.
So for our track fans out there, we could entertain the thought when we be like, well, it's the track and it's the surface, to like, even with this conversation, say, well, Christain Coleman possibly could have ran his old Christain Coleman times if he had been on the super track. But then also, I guess that gives more respect to Christain Coleman for running that time when he did it on the track that's not a super track.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? Because no one thing is the one thing, right? So, today with like the distance runners, they got the super shoes or whatnot, and now we have super tracks and super speed suits and super starting blocks, whatever. Well, it's all a culmination, right? So, I mean, it could be his training. He could have had a better, healthier fall than he's had ever. He could have been more hyped, maybe because, his first time in a long time. Emotionally, right? You guys know, both of you know how much emotion plays into any one performance, right? You're at the Olympics, you're a little bit more hyped. You maybe run faster if you don't screw everything else up, right? So there's a lot of combinations into what could have occurred and how it occurred and went down for this weekend.
Let me ask you.
I think it was.
Go ahead, Anson. Go ahead. I got a lot of stat questions.
I was just gonna reiterate the fact that you said about it just being a scrap, because this race being at the Armory and this early in the season, all it is just who's getting to the line first. Really, times aren't going to be taken into account, and that came a lot into what I was saying about what the winning time would actually be, because this race wasn't about that. It was never about that. This race is about, where are you at now? And here's where we're at now. That's it. And small as the race is, that there's always something beyond the actual stats. And that's what this was about. That's what's amazing about track and field, because it's not just about the numbers. It's a lot of numbers, a lot of stats and stuff like that, but there's so much more going on. This is establishing yourself here. Me in your mind, you in my mind. That's what this was, and that's why this was very, very important. And if those guys didn't take that into consideration, a lot of times you have to start taking stuff like that into consideration, because I always say this. I said this numerous times when we were talking last time. The lane, you have to have as many things getting you down that lane faster, and everyone else is slower. It was just what it is. And this was one of those grand opportunities to establish yourself, not considering stats. It was very important in that way. But
I will
if Trayvon's confident in his path, then
I'm not disagreeing with either one of y'all on the fact that was a good old fashioned scrap race. I'm not disagreeing with that. The only thing I'm saying is, I believe there is only one person in that race that was looking at it like this is a scrap race. I feel like the other person in that race was looking at it like this is an exhibition match. I don't really. When it's time to scrap, when it's the prize fight, we in Vegas, and all the celebrities is ringside, and everybody on pay-per-view is watching, I'll be ready to scrap then. Right now, even though it's meal rolls or whatever, but come on, this is an exhibition. This is an exhibition boxing match. Nobody really cares about it, like for real, like in the grand scheme of it. So again, I say one of them had that scrap in them for the reason that Anson is saying. You can't lose in this situation. But I'm not gonna sit here and say the rest of them feel like they should have took advantage of that, because no, I don't need to take advantage of it right now. You can have it right now. I'll take advantage of it when it matters. When we get outside and it's on the line for real, when there's an actual piece of hardware to get, now we scrapping. Outside of that, like, you can't tell me that I should have took advantage of the opportunity because to get it mentally. No. I don't want it now. I'm gonna go take your whole heart out when it matters, and that's for either one of them, because both of them thinking the same thing. They like, this ain't it ain't really nothing. Christain Coleman is more like, yes, I had to reestablish my dominance, but from this moment on, I can assure you, I'm pretty sure Coleman won't care about no more races. He won't care about if he get in them. He won't care about if he lose. He just had to get that off his back. Like, I'm back, pun intended, and I'm here to win. But he know it, like, they gonna be ready. I got to go to the lab. I got to get ready to. This is not my best performance. It was not my best performance. I got to go do a whole lot more work, because I can't have to scrap every time I line up. I need to be able to, what you say, I got to be able to go through some of these rounds with the slowest times. I can't have to scrap every time I line up beside these boys and they not scrapping. That's what I'm saying.
You two would know it better than me. I'm on the coaching side of it, right? When I used to work with Pierre Brown and
Shout out my boy
Steve Mullins. Oh yeah. I know great people, right? Come on. Great people surround themselves with great people. I happen to be in that circle, so you guys know it better than I do, because I'm on the coaching side. But what is more mentally for you, especially this early in the race? Is it a victory over someone else, or is it the time? So, like, if he would have went out and ran 6:44 but got third, would Coleman have been in a funk because he's like, crap, I ran 6:44, which probably was my fastest opener, maybe not that Clemson run, right? But one of my fastest openers, but I got beat by two dudes. Or the reverse. If it had been super slow, 6:59, and he won, would he have not felt good there either? What's more important at this stage? Is it a victory over the other person, or is it the time run?
Personally, I feel like the clock wouldn't have been, if he came third and still ran fast, he would have been upset. Like, I don't even consider the clock a factor in this race, because it would have been like, dang, I ran 6:4, and obviously a couple people ran 6:3 or whatever. And then it's like, this, damn, that's they're running, And I'd love to talk. I'll probably ask Trayvon about this. I'd love to talk to him about whether or not he felt like, he was. How can I word this? Whether or not he was okay with actually losing that race, or if he lost. Because if he's okay with losing that race, that says a lot about his confidence about outside. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous.
That's
now, if he
long-term
misread
thinking.
the situation, yes. And if he's on that, that's wow. That's serious. You know what I'm saying? He's on a mission. But if he just misread it and feels like he missed an opportunity, it's okay to acknowledge that too. But I feel like the smarter thing, from my standpoint, would have been to establish yourself there. And if he just lost, cool. You know, I'm just not there yet. So it was a good opportunity, but I missed it. Cool. That's okay too. But if he's just like legit, like, yo, man, I really didn't care about the race. It's just what it is. Outdoors is where it's at, and I'm going to be ready. That's dangerous, and that's something that Christian's going to have to look out for. So,
well,
I mean, either way, I think in that race, clocks don't really come into play. Like you got to get in each other's heads, yo. And that was an opportunity, man. You could have run 7 flat. You know what I'm saying? You got to get across the line first with them with that group.
If they'd have ran 7 flat, though, we definitely would have blamed the surface.
yeah. Here's what I say. I answer that question like this, and Mike. Depending on your situation, will depend on what type of emotion goes into that. And what I mean by that is, like, for Trayvon, his situation is a little different because it's like, well, a fast time for me is good over a W. Why? I don't really need to win. I'm actually Mr. America right now. Like, when it matters, I won U.S. outdoor. Like, you got to still beat me. Like, the road got to go through me. So emotionally, it's like, oh, okay, well, cool. You know, now you flip it and you are a Christain Coleman. Now time don't matter. It's the W. It don't matter if I run 672 and they run 675. It don't matter if I run 6'8" and they run 6'9". I just gotta put my name in front of theirs. So it's different situations. Now, coincidentally, I talked to Trayvon after the race. You know I did. Y'all know I did. Y'all know I talked to all my boys. Shout out to CC. Still waiting on him to hit me back. Here's a bro man has to say. What do you have to say?
We all are.
Bro man said, and I will quote it, but I'm just gonna put it into my own words. All right. I ran for one reason. I'm not afraid to race nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Like, you take it for what it is. Like, that was his first thing he said, bro, I ran for one reason only. He said, I'm gonna run one more time, I'm running 200, and I'm getting ready for outside. Literally, like, he was like, I ran for one reason only. Which I understand what he's saying, because mentally, in the mental game, he had to take that race. Let's call it what it is. He did just come from Tokyo. He did just have an up and down season. He did just have a mental season to where he didn't perform well. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He went through the whole everything of people just criticizing him. That was just 4 months ago. You know what I'm saying? So now, if I'm really like in my element, I really want to be at home right now, getting prepared to erase what just happened last year. I don't even want to be nowhere right now. I want to be in the back cave, because what y'all saw from me last was not what it's supposed to be. So, but what I'm going to prove to y'all is I don't want to run indoor, but I'm finna show up at this race and show y'all I'm not scared to race nobody, no time, no matter what. Even if I ain't ready to train, even if I ain't did this, I'm not finna run from no race. Hey, so Ray, that's what I had to respect him for that. For saying it's like, no, I'm not gonna go nowhere. Even though I don't want to race. Like, I literally don't want to race. Hey. But because I know y'all gonna say something and y'all want me out there, I'm finna show you I'm gonna be out there. And then I'm gonna race. And pretty much that's why I keep saying this man came off the couch and put on some spikes and said, I'm doing it just because I don't want to hear y'all mouth. Like, in reality, I don't want to be here.
What a great point. I totally forgot about all the heat he took, and maybe rightfully so, right? Because results are results through the Olympics, which was 4 months ago. You're right. That seems like 4 years ago right now to me, but it seems like it was 4 months ago. He easily could have been like, I'm just getting ready for outdoor. And he,
like the Olympic champ.
Yeah, that's right. He put himself and his results on the line, whether he would have gotten first or last. He stepped up. We need more of that in track, man. I love that attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great attitude to have, but if you're gonna put yourself out there, though, especially with him coming back from the injury that he came back from, before the injury, he's a championship performer. He got his medal right away from Worlds out of school, won World Indoors. Trayvon's a championship performer. You get the injury, and you come back. I mean, you want to get back into that same. You want to still have those type of performances. You want to still be known for that. So he still has to reestablish that since the injury. Since he got hurt, he hasn't performed well at championships when it matters. right? And I think that high pressure situations like the other day, those are the ones you take advantage of to replicate being in scenarios like that. It's a hot race, yo. Treat it like a hot race. You put yourself out there. If you're gonna do it, don't just do it like, I don't really care too much about it, because you're not really making the most of the opportunity to get better in a bunch of ways. You can get better in that way, to approach it seriously and take it seriously and attack it. Like, you put yourself out there.
In order for him to do that, though, you got to give every athlete credit. In order for him to be able to do that, you got to start preparing at least 6 weeks out for that. Like, you got to literally prepare for that race. He ain't prepared for it. So
I don't agree with that, man. I don't agree with that, man.
You got to prepare for a race if you know you got to open the race coming up. You ain't finna sit there and just not be prepared.
With whatever you have, you give what you got, yo. You ain't ever been no heated block workouts where it becomes serious?
Yeah, of course.
Come on, man. Everybody wants to, even in a block workout, you want to get to that 10, that 20, that 30, that 40 first. It's just what it is. You just have to have the desire to win every time you put yourself out there. Now, if you're competing, that's multiplied. That's exponentially different. You really need to put yourself out there.
We can't say, here's what you can't say. We can't say that somebody didn't have the desire to win just because they didn't care to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference.
Okay. Like, he might desire to win something more.
If I win, it's like, think about it. Me and you both done been in races to where it's like, damn, I won. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Like, I didn't care to win, because I was like, shit, man, I ain't know he was gonna slip out the block. So that's a tougher. You feel me? So it's like,
but if you're going up against a rival, it's different, man. It's different.
Is it a rival?
You got it.
Oh, it's definitely a rival.
Yes. Them two. And then, Marvin's going to try and get in the mix. And obviously, we're not forgetting about Fred, but Fred's not going to do any indoors. But like, there's, and who knows what new names are going to come up. But yo, them two though, like they're the only two that have, they're the only two who have golden medals. So, Fred has his Olympic medal. But I mean, I don't know how Fred.
Y'all talked to Fred too after the race. Y'all.
Yeah, see, I'm interested in seeing how Fred comes back. Yeah, he probably had a lot to say, but I'm interested in knowing.
Y'all know how his race take. I keep it real, and all the athletes know it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell what Fred's take. I'm gonna go and put it out there. He said, "Man, that shit was slow." Fred said it was slow. That was it.
Then Fred needs to jump into a 60, yo. If he's gonna talk about what they're running. If he's gonna say that, he needs to jump into a 60.
Slow, but he stepped up.
You see the 60, it was like slow. I said, "Ooh, okay, how you think?" I'm gonna put it out there, Ray. That was said.
Well, hey,
it's easy to say that
he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing.
Fred.
That's the thing. Like, if you're gonna bring talks like that, then you gotta jump into 60, yo.
You gotta line up now.
If you're gonna say it slow, you gotta line up. That's lineup talks, yo. That's lineup talks. Yeah. So if you're gonna say that, cool. But
you gotta come on out here and do it then. You know what? I know Fred ain't training for it, because Fred's mindset is out there. But I would love to see Fred Curley hop in a 60 one time.
Me too.
But we can't get it. We can't get it because we're not gonna get that lineup again. Like, NBC paid for that lineup. Just call it what it is. Like, we're not gonna get a type of lineup again unless it's like USA. But I would love to see that lineup one more time and actually have Fred in it. I'd love to see that.
And you're on NBC too?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You gotta run. You gotta. Now, Fred. Now, he's one of the players, obviously, but I wanna. Having consistent back-to-back 100-meter seasons isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not accustomed to being a 100-meter runner. So if he's able to do that this year, then he's really something. But if he didn't, I wouldn't necessarily be that surprised, because his body's going through a bunch of different things, and you never really know like how his physique is going to carry over with this type of trauma. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
Here's what Fred proved last year, though. If he thinks he's going to be a great 100-meter runner this year, he'll stay in the 100 and fry everybody.
Yo, that guy's serious.
If he thinks, man, I need to go back to the 2 or the 4, he'll go back to the 2 or the 4 and win a medal there. Fred gets all the grace when it comes to whatever event he wants to put into it, simply because of what he did this past year.
Right now, I can tell you he's going after that 100-meter world record. That's his goal. His goal is to break the 100-meter world record. That's Fred Curley's goal right now. His goal. His mindset is to break the world record. Like he said, if you ain't the fastest, you ain't nobody. That's how he feel. And if you ain't got the record, you still ain't nobody. So his mindset, that's why Fred's sitting back and ain't he's just training for. He has one purpose in mind. And his only purpose, the only goal is, I want the world record. Wow. That's some massive stuff to put on your board though. Like, know what? If anybody can get it, I've said it before last year. I said it's 2 people that I feel like could get it. And I said Trayvon and Christain Coleman. The only 2 I ever said that can get close to that record, okay? Right surface, right block start, them 2 in the race, one of them can get it, all right? Because they both can get to that 60 fast. When you put Fred into it, Fred is the only one who has the body composition like Bolt to actually be able to put down enough force to cover enough ground to where Fred could actually, he can get close to it. It's so hard because I saw that 9.5. It's so hard to say somebody.
I don't know, Doc. That race was crazy, Doc.
But from the athlete side, don't you have to put your goal there? If you put your goal at 9.7, you hit 9.7, great, but you're still 9.7. If he puts 9.5 and he falls short and runs 9.6, he's still one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, ooh, I think it's important to not think limits.
Hold on, this is a question I've been. This is what I wanted to ask. With the stat guy on here. Okay, so we all saw, Oregon last year, and we all saw, Tokyo last year, and we've been saying that these are super tracks now. Like these tracks are like super, super, super fast, and these spikes are super, super, super fast. No knock and no disrespect to any athlete when I say this. So could it be that they really aren't as fast as previous generations? And what I mean by previous generations is before there was these super tracks, the Software Power was giving you 9.7s. Before there was these super tracks that, I'm talking about the new tracks, Maurice Green was giving you 9.7, 9.8. Maurice Green gave you 6.3 20-something years ago when there was no super track we on now. So is it that they running fast, or is it just that the track and everything and technology is giving them fast times? Because when you put it together, it's like, okay, well, somewhere like back in the day, Zurich is a fast track, okay, but Helsinki was okay. It wasn't as fast. Berlin, me and Anson both ran on Berlin track, and you know about Berlin track. It was fast, but it isn't like super fast.
Yeah, the biggest fallacy we can do, Ray, is try to see who's better, Jordan or LeBron. It's 2 different time periods, it's 2 different decades, 2 different games. So today, obviously, you got better tracks than back in the day, and definitely back from Cinders when you want to talk about Bullet Bob Hayes and those guys and Jesse, what they are running on. Are our people faster? Was he faster back then? You can only say what they are running today for 100 million reasons. The motivation, they make way more money now. I'd run faster just because there's more money at that finish line than it was back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, right? So you can't compare that way. They're faster. That time that never stops. That stopwatch is still the same. So whenever that stopwatch stops, that's the time. Whoever's run the fastest, whether it's today or 2050, that's the fastest.
Yeah, I disagree with you a bit, man. Those technological advances, they matter. Mm-hmm. They matter. I just seen King Majestic just said something about how Ben Johnson would have given us a 9.4 into a headwind right now. I've spoken to Ben about this, like what he thinks about the new shoes, new surfaces. He said he'd run 9 flat if he had all this stuff right now.
How do you know
Fred Curley said 9.2?
How do you know Fred Curley wouldn't have ran 9.6 back in 94?
Because Fred right now has better surfaces and better shoes. Like he has better equipment getting him down the track. Who, Fred?
Maybe.
Well, all I know is, hey, if I'm jumping to grab a rim,
fast. I'm gonna get Mike fast is fast.
Fast is fast.
I gotta go with Anson on this one. I got to go with Anson on this one simply because I like to use all my analogies. It's 2 cars. So if it's 2 cars, look here, my surface is slick, Jack. I got oil on my surface, and I still went 100 miles per hour. You got a brand new dry asphalt that only went 100. You not. Your generation ain't ready for my generation because this generation was dropping these. We had a greasy track, all right? Y'all got people coming out and they taking everything off of it. Man, we don't ran on tracks that had puddles of water in it and still had to go 10-0. Lane 1 flooded.
Yep.
Got to go 10-0. That's why I'm like,
it's something you can't ignore. You can't ignore it.
Running fast. They running fast. I just don't think that the new generation is running as fast as the old generation. I think it's because they don't have to. They don't have to. And the reason why I say they don't have to is because not just from a track gonna give me a fast time standpoint, I just feel like it was more dog eat dog back then. Like it was actually street racing. So you didn't care about, you got fast times because people actually wanted to beat people. They didn't give a damn about the clock. It was like, oh, being over there.
Okay. My next point. That was my next point. What do you think about getting rid of the clocks, yo?
Ooh.
What do you think about just getting rid of the clocks? Just race, like who wins?
Oh, I didn't know we were going to try to change track and field today. I like
no,
that.
But I'm saying, I'm saying, what do you think about that, man? Get rid of the clocks. Who wins? Because really, you're gonna get to a point where the times are gonna get to, they're not gonna get any faster, like unless you like add all these extra technological advances and shorter tracks and faster surfaces. Like, I'm not really trying to see the sport go that direction. Like as far as just I'm against you, who gets to the line first.
What's the biggest problem we have?
I would love that. I would love that.
The media, the worst problem we have for media right now in track and field is if an event goes off and a world record is not set, it's a failure.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly.
That's bubkiss.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And we need to get out of that because really, I don't know, being in the sport is cool, like seeing world records and stuff, but it's more like I like to see winners. I like who wins, who won. Mm-hmm. Who won? Because on any given day you can have conditions or certain variables that cause the times to be slower, but who won? Who won, yo? Like that's what we need to focus on more because that's always going to be a factor. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. You can have bad conditions that are not going to be fast times, so all of a sudden, it's a shitty race. No, it's not. Because if you focus on, who won, then shit, every race is a good race. Rain, snow, whatever. So clocks to me, I don't think we need them no more, yo.
Here's why I'm a fan.
In 100.
What you said makes sense. And here's why I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it for a different reason. I'm a fan of it for the reason of, again, not taking anything away from the Texas Tech kid, right? He's sitting at the world leading spot. That's a money spot, okay? So now if I'm a professional athlete who can actually get paid, I can't get paid because I'm not technically a world leader. That's a money spot, all right? So now if you take that whole timing system away and do like Anson is saying, no, I'm the money spot because I'm number one. Nobody's beat me. You see what I'm saying? Like, you just got to beat me at that point. And I think that's what make like UFC so exciting. It's like, it ain't a record of really like, if you do it in like such a time, it's a record, but nobody came to see you break the record. We came to see y'all fight. We don't care how long it takes, how quick it's over. We want to see y'all fight. So to answer what he's saying, like, I agree with that. Like, no, I came to see a race. I don't care if it's the mile, the 8 mile, the steeplechase. I don't care if it's the javelin. I literally came to see who gonna win. I don't care how far you threw it. Did you win?
Wouldn't you have to compete? Wouldn't you have to compete more and no more ducking? Because you'd have to face, if you're the number 2 guy, you'd have to face the number 1 guy.
You have to
do it more often, right? Because of international races and competitions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't duck and hide no more. And that's exactly what that would do. It would force people to come out and you got to race. Why? Because if you don't race, you can't. It's like boxing now. If you don't fight, you can't get paid. It ain't no more of, I don't got a gold medal. I don't got a gold medal. And now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make my money off of that. I ain't going to race no more. Again, like Lamont did last year. Shout out to Lamont. He did what he's supposed to do. Financially, like, no, if I lose it, my worth goes down. We need to force that to happen. Like, oh no, you got to run again. It don't matter. Like, you almost even I'm a fan of after you win the Olympic Games, it's just like boxing. When you get back on that track, your medal just might be up for grabs. Why? Because if I get in the ring with my belt and I lose, I don't get to take my belt home with me no more. Like, no,
sick.
Your belt comes over here now. So now after the Olympics, you got to go medal. You got to go race again now.
No, but hold on.
Don't lose it.
Get rid of even take away the Olympic medal as far as being the thing to have, right? What if there's just a belt to be kept throughout the season every time you run, yo? You want to have the belt at the end of the season, if anything, but it moves. Like, you race against each other and you lose, you give the belt up, yo. You walk off with the belt, you have the belt strapped around your waist and you leave the track meet, yo. And you hold the belt. Who's going to keep the belt? That shit would be way better than waiting for, oh, well, you won the Olympics, so you're the fastest man in the world. I mean, really, we got to kind of veer away from depending on the Olympics for track and field to be prominent. I don't even think like that. Because I think it's good without the Olympics. It's just is what it is. It's an amazing sport. But it's dependent on that. It's dependent on the Olympics. It's dependent on amazing performances on the clock. Like, we're limiting our opportunities to to have great performances. We're limiting it to world records and at the Olympics or at the championships. Mm-hmm. No, every race is a good race because we want to see who wins and who's leaving with the belt. Who has the belt? That's an amazing idea.
Well, they did it for the shot put at Mill.
This is a revolutionary conversation. I'm telling you, because track and field doesn't need the Olympics. That's where it's at right now. We don't need the Olympics. The Olympics is a cool event to win, and it could be separate. Cool. You win the Olympic champion, cool, whatever. But it shouldn't be, well, you won it, so you're the best in the world.
You was just the best on
I'm not a fan of that narrative.
Me neither. I'm cool with that. And the same thing should be for your country. If you had the USA Championships or you had the Jamaican, you had the Canadian, whatever championship you got, whatever it is, you won. Okay, well, you got that championship belt. Guess what, though? You can't duck. You can't hide. We don't give a doggone if you in Stockholm. If you in Stockholm and you lose to another American, give it up. Go and get to it. Because you're not the fastest no more. You're no longer the fastest. You was just on that date. So that's how you actually make it fair. And athletes can stop crying and be like, man, it was because, if USA was next week, I know I would have made. Okay, here's your chance. Okay, here's your chance. Oh, now shut up. Why? Because you got that chance you kept begging for. So now when people like Christain Coleman, when he was on his reign and he couldn't be beat, now it's like, now you really can't touch me. Why? I have the belt. and no matter what my time was, you can't beat me head up. Again, just like this, like Milrose Games, that's equivalent to the same thing, what you're saying. He came back. He still got the belt because he just sat down for 2 years. He came back and all he did was show, no, the belt stays here. I don't care. You can't take it. It's not about this time. It's not about this clock. I have the belt. And the way Anson's saying, here was your chance to take it.
Right.
You didn't take it. So I'm still the king of America because I have the belt. Don't matter what the time was. Don't even matter.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like
What's
that.
the date today? The 31st. You need to clip this whole section. Just put it up by itself of how track and field is going to get revolutionized. No clocks and the belt. Can you imagine having the belt put around your waist in a stadium full of fans? You know what I'm saying? Make a spectacle out of it. You know what I'm saying? Make a spectacle out of it about someone having to give up the belt.
Cut the lights off, let the champ come out last. You know what I'm saying? With the belt on, with the robe on, and everything.
Or in the intros, yeah. Or in the intros, you come out with your belt on. Yeah. And in the intros and stuff like that, you come out with your belt on, when you have the belt. Oh my gosh, Doug.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Doug.
Don't lose the belt now. Don't you lose that belt, Jack.
Hey.
And then what it does is it gonna actually put track and field in the front of people because that's what people want to see now. They'll do pay-per-view for that. Like, oh, now I'm gonna watch this race. What race? They just racing. That's it, just racing. Yeah. There's no. They just racing. Whoever win. I'm watch that. I'm watch that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Before we get off here, I do want to switch back to times because it's one thing that I noticed somebody was talking about. So two things that happened over the weekend. Micah dropped 6'4" again, and Elaine runs a 60 outside. Here's the two things I got to say about that, and I want to hear what y'all got to say, okay? Micah 6'4", again, to me, I've said it. They don't impress me based off the fact that Micah is a professional, okay? When I mean a professional is you've lined up at the biggest stage there is. You're now back running with people mentally who've never been on that stage. You're racing people who are mentally and physically trying to get to where you've already been. So you coming down here and racing these people and doing the times don't matter. That's one thing. Now, based off, again, what Anson just said, I believe that once you cross over, because technically he could have had the belt, right? You cross over, you can't go back to college. Flat out. You cannot go back and race no more college kids because now it's like everybody like Michael ran 6'4". He ran 6'4". He should. He's a professional athlete in college. He should be running 6'4". It would be surprising if he ran 6'5". Like, what the hell going on? Now, that's my other thing. Second thing I like to say about the E-Lane race. I'm a fan of you can never compare an outdoor 60 to an indoor 60. I don't give a doggone if it's to a headwind, side wind, but you cannot compare the two. It's too much stuff. And the one thing that I've learned now, Mike, you can tell me if this is true or not, and Anson, you might even know. I was told that the faster tracks are faster because the lanes are wider and they're bigger. So you can see, your vision can see further up the curve, so you don't have to apply on brakes as much. That's what I was told, okay? Now, understanding how perception works, yeah, when you're inside, that wall is coming up. I don't care what nobody says. Your body is going to start to slowly break down. When you're outside, your body is not going to break down because you're at 60. It don't have to. So I'm not impressed by Elaine's outdoor 60, nor am I entertained by the thought of her being able to break the world record based off that outdoor 60. What do y'all think on those two things, Micah and Elaine 60 this weekend?
Well, as far as Micah, I think that from a track and field standpoint, it's really not fair because, like you said, he is on another level, but it's like, he's not gaining anything from going back and running with them college kids, yo. Even when Andre and Trayvon got their medals, I mean, Andre was considering going back to school. And I was like, why are you going to go back and when are you going to go back to school and run with these cats for? It doesn't make any sense. You can still go back to school and be a student. And but train professionally, yo. What are you going to go back and run with these kids for, yo? Like, you're gaining nothing. They're gaining off of running against you.
Yep.
And you're not getting any better. And the track and field world is moving on without you. But he might like being on the Oregon track and field team. Maybe he likes that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he can still be a student, but maybe he likes being a student athlete. He might just like that. And maybe the numbers weren't right as far as what they're trying to give him, which I would be surprised though, because he's in Oregon. Yeah. And I'm sure Nike would have thrown, I think they would have thrown some good numbers at him, yo. I feel like they would have. But I don't know. It doesn't make sense from a track and field standpoint. And as far as the 60, I think that when you run the 60 indoors, you because it's so close to the other end of the track and everything's closed in, your perception is that, okay, the race is over. Now, if you run a 60 outdoors and you still have that open track at the end, you're more likely to sail through the line. You're running through, you're not running to. You know what I'm saying? Because there's more track. Even if you're not, the race ends there, you're still running through. It just seems more endless. So that'll carry you through, and obviously you'll maintain better and, bring more speed through to the line. So there's more advantage to doing it outside, in my opinion, to run a fast 60. So I would need to see her line up in actual 60 inside to be like, okay, she's running whatever, because it's just different, yo. It's different.
Yeah. You guys know the easiest way to go from number 1 to number 100 is go pro in track and field, right? So as far as Micah's concerned, no judgment, right? We don't know what his motivation, what his mindset is. Like you said, maybe he likes being on the team. Maybe he's really smart and he realizes once you go pro, all those things you get for being a college track athlete, all those things you take for granted. The bus is going to be, you ain't got to worry about the bus. You ain't got to worry about
getting true, man.
You got a massage therapist and all this other stuff.
True, man.
Maybe he's like, yeah, Nike was going to give me $50,000. And that's a lot for 18, 19, whatever old he is, right? But I got to do this and this and this, and I got to pay my agent, and I got to pay this, and I got to do this, right? So who knows? No judgment. Let him be a kid as long as he can, even if he's a superstar kid. Let him tear it up then. He better, right? I mean, if he's a pro, then he should be tearing it up. So no judgment on Micah. Great points about the 60, though. Another great show, Athletics LLC, Charles Ryan, shout out head coach of San Jose State, brought this up about that wall at the 60, right? That's a big deal. The body wants to preserve itself. The body does not want to try to fall on your face. Your hands will come up. Your body wants to preserve, right? So when that wall is there, I don't care if it's got a big old pad there or not, and even if you're going up the hill, you think you're going to slow down. The body, probably around 50, 55, starts checking itself. Right? You said breaking down, starts checking itself and says, I want to live, so I better. And when you're talking about the difference between 6:44 and 6:45 or whatever Elaine ran, 7, whatever, that's a mile in that race. So absolutely, outdoor race. We didn't even talk about the wind. Come on, man. It's a different. That 60 meters is a different race than what she would have ran at Millrose or Spokane or anywhere else. Not comparable. Great race. She did great. Let's see what happens when she gets into a legit race.
Okay, last question before we get off here. World leader ran again. The female world leader ran again. Maribel St. Pablo. She ran this weekend. Another track. She's still world leader. Yeah. So she got like top 3 times now. Something crazy. Y'all have seen her run, and that's why I just like to keep asking people. I'm calling her making the team for indoor and outdoor.
And outdoor.
I'm giving her top 3 indoor and top 3 outdoor.
And outdoor.
And outdoor.
You know, I will say after Sha'Carri, it's kind of wide open, man. It's kind of wide open. And I never heard of this girl before, and I started looking at some of her,
Me neither.
her old stats. Yo, she ran 11.2 when she was like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
So she legit. Yeah, so, because I thought she was in college, because I had never heard of her before. I was like, probably some college kid. And then I seen, like, when you spoke to her, she's been pro.
Yeah.
And she has a very, her attitude is, I don't know, she hasn't really been exposed to the higher levels of sprinters yet, to where she's got a bliss of ignorance as far as their impact. That she's kind of on her own road, and she got a bit of a, she's a bit chippy because she likes to put hashtag unsponsored on her posts to make it very clear, I'm running this and ain't no one picked me up yet. But she got a look, she got speed, and she's like, you know, she's actually this is gonna sound a little funny, but she's actually a white girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of the fast white girls that sprint, usually they chill with black people. They got some black swag. You know what I'm saying? She's an actual white girl, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a legitimate white girl, yo. It's like, dang, yo, like she's actually doing this.
Her name's Mary Bell. It's the whitest name of white names. Like,
she's Mary Beth. She's Mary Beth. So, yo, it's exciting to see because it's not normal, dog. That's not normal. So, but she got a bit of back kick, but her knees are coming up fairly well. But she's light on her feet. Her hips open up well for her frame. Like she got some talent, yo. But the 100 is going to be different. But really, it is wide open after Sha'Carri. So, hey, man, you never know. You could have her making it. You could have Bolin making it on the men's side. Nah, no, not in the 100, not in the 100.
Oh,
not in the 100, not in the 100. Relax. Not in the 100, not in the 100. No, not in the 100, not in the 100. No.
You got a clip
in the 200, in the 200. Let's. Time out. In the 200.
Man, what you talking about? You know how American works.
In the 200.
I'm about to start pulling a bowling too. Come on, bowling. We need y'all there, baby. We need to get some sponsors.
Bowling could save the sport. Matthew Bowling could save the sport. He can make it at 200. So, yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see some, you know what I'm saying, some sprinkles up in there now, you know what I'm saying, because it's not characteristically what happens, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. After Sha'Carri, it is wide open. It's wide open, man.
Mike, what you think?
The way it is right now.
What you think, Mike?
Well, gentlemen, my favorite event in the whole wide world is the 110 hurdles, and to be a good hurdler, you have to stay in your lane. I know nothing about her. I know nothing. It's Sha'Carri, and then I don't know who in the world after that, man. So I trust you two gentlemen on that one.
Yeah,
she got it.
If we had this same conversation 2 weeks ago before Texas Tech, I'd have been like, who? What? I don't even know what that is. No. It's Sha'Carri in it wide open. Now I'm just saying, well, it's Sha'Carri, our normal, and you can't count her out. So all I'm saying is, based off everything we've talked about in this show, based off everything we talked about with the mental part of the aspect of with Christain Coleman, based off everything we talked about with being rusty, based off all of that you put into the pot, I don't see where you got to count her out from making that top 3. If we all sit here saying, no, it's Sha'Carri and then everybody else. I mean, it's not illogical to think that she can finish in the top 3. And the only reason why I'm basing off of is, like I said the other day, when I'm watching her 0 to 60, it's not a fast frequency turnover. Like, she's going to burn out. Her 0 to 60 is like, no, if I got to go 40 more meters, good luck trying to catch me. That's why I'm saying, if she can hold what she got, they got to come catch her. Like, and the thing I'm saying is, even Sha'Carri got to come catch her. So I'm saying she can lead the race, and Sha'Carri gonna come by her like she just, you know what I'm saying? She's Sha'Carri. Let's just give it what it is. She's gonna come by her. But can the rest of her can the rest of them catch? I gotta say no because of the gap that Sha'Carri put on everybody. Sha'Carri put that gap on everybody leaving at 60, right? Mary Beth is putting that gap on everybody at the start. So that's why I'm saying the only person I think that could actually, at this point, beat her is the one that can't nobody beat, which is Sha'Carri. And I think at that point, Sha'Carri is going to, I think Mary Beth will be the reason Sha'Carri do something extremely stupid because she's going to have to go catch her. And I think she can go catch her. And that's what's going to pull Sha'Carri down to that 10-5, some crazy range. And it's going to pull the rest of the race. But the rest of them, Mary Beth may get caught by one more person. But I don't see her getting caught by 2 or 3 more.
Well, what a beautiful sport. They should line it up and see who wins the belt, baby. Quit talking about it. Quit looking at paper. Run for the belt.
Run for it.
Real talk,
Run for it. Hey, you know what, guys? We've been on this thing for, per usual, longer than I'm supposed to be. I'm glad I ain't got to pay for all this about a minute, because, boy, we be running way past 30 minutes. Hour and 20-minute show. All right, I got to say this. For everybody that just tuned in. Anson was not right. Okay? He's not right.
Whoa. What's happening here? What's happening here?
He got lucky, all right? There's a difference between being right and getting lucky. He got very lucky. That's what I'm saying. You got very lucky. You wasn't right. You got lucky. I appreciate you, though. But you got lucky. You don't got the belt. You got lucky. We're going to do this again. Brother Mike.
You're very disrespectful. You're very disrespectful. Big up on CC. Christain. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See what I mean? Like, you can't even see.
I love being right, dog. Oh my gosh. I scored another goal, dog.
Hey, y'all just ain't got no respect. Y'all
scored another goal, man.
Like, how you gonna come on somebody's show with a bullhorn? Like, what type of respect is that? Like,
Anson,
disrespectful.
Next time you come on, it's Anson, aka the belt holder. Until he beats you, lucky or not, you got the belt for this one, brother.
Okay, I'm gonna let you.
No. I have it. You didn't let me have anything. I took the belt. I took the belt.
Take the belt. I want a little belt. They gotta race again. Guess what? They gonna race again. I ain't worried about it.
He's saying this is prelims. You can't lose the belt in the prelims.
You know what I'm saying? It just, I'm gonna talk to my people. You know, I'm like, hey man, look, we can't be pulling out races. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta keep my belt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go talk to my people. So make sure that everything get ironed out. Or you won this time. You know what I'm saying? Oh Lord, somebody done paid $2 for Anson's always right, Henry. I'm saying
MJP TV. Yo, big up yourself, dog.
Get your cash out ready.
Yo, big up yourself, MJP.
We're not taking that money.
That's a content creator right there, yo. That's content creator right there.
That money going back. Don't you be sitting no money to my some MJP TV.
Yo, big up the one named MJP TV, man.
See, that's why I gotta keep people like Mike around. Because y'all folks turn on me too quick, man. Y'all turn on me too quick.
Yeah, man. People in the comments talking about how you had to go home and get some help, yo. You had to go and get some reinforcements.
Hey,
people call me Thanos in the chat, yo.
Alabama,
they're calling me Thanos. You had to go and get. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanos. It's so good. It's so good.
You know what happened, all right? When it came down to
man, you might have to get 4 or 5 more people, you know what I'm saying? It's a formidable opponent, you know what I'm saying? It's got to go get some help, dog. This is what it is. But
I don't like your attitude. I'm about to end my show. Brother Mike, we appreciate you for coming.
Love you, brother. Love you too, Anson.
Love you too.
You guys are doing awesome.
Respect, man. Big up yourself, yo. Yeah.
All right. Anson, get off my show.
Yeah.